All right, what do we got next? Okay, fuck, I don't know. Do I actually want to do this? Don't worry, we're not going to be watching the whole video. I just have a lot of comments to say. This is probably one of the grossest situations to show up recently on YouTube, and I'm going to be covering it because someone has to. Okay, dude made an hour and 40-minute long video, and no one's ever going to react to this. I've already watched it beforehand. Yes, you could say pre-watched, so I could systematically go through the video, point out the things I disagree with and the things that I actually do agree with. First of all, I disagree with the length. This video did not need to be an hour and 40 minutes long. And before we get into the actual points, let me brief you on the situation, because it's one of the ugliest YouTube situations in a long time. Vaush is a left-wing political YouTube debate bro streamer guy. Now, this guy has been known for a lot of bad takes in the past. The point is going to be tackling one very, very specific niche topic that Vaush has been getting into hot water about recently specifically. Vaush, over 5 separate occasions, has defended the ethical consumption of child porn. Now, he has always done it in different contexts and for different reasons, and for that reason, he has made this hour and 40-minute long video defending this stance. Not per se the stance, as much as the different arguments to prove that he is not a pedophile. He opens up the video like this, saying that I am not a pedophile and I am going to defend myself and prove that I am not a pedophile. I don't think a lot of people called him a pedophile that has actually committed crimes, as much as saying that, brother, what you're saying is incredibly weird, and it might tell us things about you yourself. Before we actually start going through the video piece by piece, I would like to tell you a few things that he has, I think, on purpose omitted from this video. So recently, on one of his live streams, he actually accidentally leaked on his stream that he has a massive folder full of lolly horse porn. Okay, he accidentally leaked it. It was right next to his taxes folder on his computer, which was absolutely hilarious. And he got dragged all over the place for it because that is insanely weird. Now, in the context of him defending the ethical consumption of child pornography over the last couple of years, it brings his lolly porn addiction into question. Not to mention all the horse stuff. Now, another important detail is he calls people that like lolly porn pedophiles. He called Rev Says Desu a pedo lord because Rev Says Desu defends lolly porn. Which, again, my stance on lolly porn is I think it's fucking weird. I don't think it's an actual crime. Now, Rev Says Desu is someone that defends lolly porn, and he calls him a pedo lord for defending it. Now, he has a massive folder that has tons of lolly porn. What does that say about him himself? So, he avoids 2 major comments in his actual video here. One is that he avoids this hypocrisy where he calls people pedophiles for being into lolly porn, despite the fact that he has lolly porn. That is the first major point that he actually omits from this entire... Dude, hour and 41-minute long video, you think he could actually address everything. So he skips that entire thing. And also, he does not once mention throughout this video the actual animal porn shit that he's into. He avoids that topic entirely as well. So, with that in mind, I already don't love where he's going with this. So now we are going to be getting into the nitty-gritty, a couple of the details, a couple of his takes, and a couple of the things I disagree with throughout this video. Because I think it's important for people to see the context he's showing so that I can also show you why I think he's being very bad faith about this argument entirely.
So this is a video I probably should have made a long time ago. There are 2 main reasons why I haven't. For one, everything we're about to talk about has been discussed over and over and over again on this channel, in live streams and in videos. Some of it has been discussed to death. Over engagement with the topic has caused it to have a disproportionate influence both on my community and on the way people outside of my community perceive me and my channel. The second main reason I've been hesitant to make this...
I wonder why! Interesting. Are you saying that there's a reason perhaps why that might perceive you as weird? Interesting.
This video is because experience has taught me that generally speaking, if folks want to hate you or distrust you or whatever else, it's pretty difficult to convince them...
He's right.
Otherwise.
He is spitting facts right now. Man is spitting facts. It is really hard to convince people. Now, I am biased, obviously, because I find the whole defensive child porn shit, like, abhorrent and disgusting. So, I'm biased. But that said, it is very hard to get people to change your mind, which is why I am going to be coming here. I'm trying my best. I know this is on stream and I'm not like scripting all this shit, but I'm going to try to be hard and on objectivity, okay? Despite the fact that I find it fucking gross. Also, it should be known that he also, again, speaking of the beastophile stuff that he's ignoring, you see these little geckos in the background? He has a couple of geckos. He has so many clips talking about how he molests his geckos, okay? And it's a weird thing to, I put them on my dick and I let them lick me and I rub it and he has a lot of really weird clips like that. Again, completely omitted from this video. And again, who's gonna watch an hour and 41-minute long video to prove the fact that he didn't talk about the geckos?
Good point to make. Just the attempt to change people's minds can come across as kind of self-incriminating. You actually ground them further in the positions they already have.
See, here's the thing. I don't think that this video grounds me further against him. I just think that this video does a great job because it actually explains all the context. And whenever people go up against this guy and have anything negative to say about this guy, everyone always jumps on them for saying they just didn't have the context. Well, now we have the context, so that argument falls flat.
You know, it's one of those deals where the people who need to hear it won't listen, and the people who will listen don't need to hear it again.
He's a very eloquent speaker, that's for sure. He does a really good job presenting his points. I just don't think his points are good enough.
Let's get right to it then. Let's not waste time. What am I actually talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I hate to drop this on the people who just innocently watch me for my political content and don't engage in any broader community drama. Some folks online have called me a pedophile.
Crazy! I know the way he says it. That's insane! Especially because I've never even alluded to such a thing myself. So anyway, this is the point of him making this video. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people in the audience like having this debate on what defines a pedophile, and someone who is attracted to children or someone who actually acts on these inclinations. And I really hate discussing this altogether. But someone has to. Now, I don't think he's ever acted on these inclinations. At least there's been no evidence of that, so I would never assume that. However, to say that there isn't part of him that actually is somewhat attracted to children, I don't think is far-fetched. So that's him laying out what this video is actually about. Now he's gonna get throughout his entire video, he brings up different clips and arguments against them and explains the context. So let's go, let's do this mathematically. Video 1, all right, here's the first clip.
Too long. Now, without further ado, let's get to the content. We'll start with the absolute worst of it.
It's not. This is not the worst of it, by the way. In my opinion, this is not the worst of it.
Monstrously stupid argument that I made way back when I first started streaming that has since haunted me and irreparably tarnished my reputation. Now, this clip is the one that I see cited most often when people are accusing
I do think
me
this
of
is the
being
most
a
popular
pedophile.
clip. But
that's not even a little surprising to me, though. It sounds pretty bad.
In fact, and this is going to be a real hot take, I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal. Actual child pornography.
Like I said, pretty bad.
Pretty bad! Pretty bad! Pretty bad! Alright, so that's the clip. He has never heard a moral or legal argument, aside from the fact that it's illegal. That's your legal argument. It is illegal. There's the legal argument. But he's never heard a moral argument as to why child pornography should be illegal. Yeah, and people, strangely enough, call him a pedophile for that. Anyway, the irony is people have actually seen the entire clip.
This clip is from right after I started streaming, so a significant portion of my career as a live streamer has been spent providing context for the clip over and over to many people and many audiences. I've addressed it so many times that it's turned into like a kind of running joke in the community.
Remember when he said that there's no moral argument against child porn? It's a running joke, guys. You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it. You weren't watching it for 5 years to understand like I would. You wouldn't get it.
Like a rake that I'm cursed to keep walking into over and over, and it hits me in the head.
Yeah, that God put in front of him, right? No, you put the rake there to walk into, my guy. You did it. You never, instead of disavowing the clip, he keeps responding again and again. So this argument that he's making right now, and he uses this throughout the video, is that I made this bad clip once. And yes, it's a bad clip, okay? Now, every time it comes up after this is me explaining that clip. So you can't count 5 of those times as separate times that he defended child porn. Because really, it's all just defending this one clip. So it really only counts as one time. That's the argument he's making right here. If someone would say that to you, though, like, I don't think this clip really needs to be explained. I think every time you explain this clip, it does count as a separate time. Because, my guy, you could just say, oh no, that argument was shit. That argument was awful. I'm not defending it because it was bad. And every time he does defend it, it doesn't count as the same clip again. It doesn't count as the same clip again and again and again. Because he defends it again and again and again. That's my opinion, all right? I know that a lot of people like this argument of his specifically, but I don't. I really don't. Every time you defend this clip is another opportunity you had to say, no, this clip is bad, and it's awful, and I have no defense for it because it sucks. It doesn't stack.
I often see people outside of my community, people who have seen this clip but not seen me address it, mock the idea that any context that I or anyone else could provide could possibly explain away.
Nope, I see the context, and it doesn't explain it away.
Something that sounds that bad. When they see me or my fans say that this or any other clip has been taken out of context, it comes across to them as an effort to shoo away legitimate suspicion. You know,
he is trying so hard to make it look like the context explains everything, and if only you knew the context, then you would definitely understand why this clip is not so bad. So we are going to go to the context of this clip.
We know are made with child slavery, at the very least.
Oh, he explains the argument first.
Something
That's even
so
better.
inextricably tied up in human suffering that both its production and possession are illegal. Child sexual abuse material.
So the argument he makes to defend in this point that he's trying to make is the fact that child porn is not made ethically. Sweatshops in China that are making clothes are not made ethically. So they're all equally bad here. If you are okay with wearing clothes made from sweatshops, then you must also be okay with child porn. Not that he is saying that child porn should be okay, he is saying that they're both bad. Now, the major difference here, and there are a couple, but one of them is that there is no ethical way to make child porn, whereas there is an ethical way to make a fucking shirt. That's why the argument makes absolutely no sense. So while he is trying to use this as some sort of gotcha, epic debate brain dead moment where he's proving to the world that people's moral compasses are skewed because you see, people do enjoy the appreciation of all of that. My guy, my dude, Nux, you're not being fair and not looking at all the context. Thank you, Vaush fan and chat. Appreciate you guys. But I think that argument makes no sense. And the point is, again, I'm not saying that this is a clip of him trying to rationalize child porn, but it does rationalize child porn. And it's the fact that it keeps happening again and again and again and again. You are ignoring half the context. Okay, dude.
If we already know something that harmful should just be excised from society, couldn't we do the same for products that we know are made with child slavery, at the very least? The parallel felt clear to me, and I wanted to really drive home the hypocrisy of the people arguing against me, who said you were downplaying, I guess, the issue with the whole child slavery intertwined in our, economy thing. So...
In fact, and this is going to be a real hot take, I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal. Actual child pornography. How's that for a hot fucking take? Now, to clarify on this take, as I feel it necessary to do so, we do not, in this country, typically criminalize people who have procured media or resources which were the product of abuse. It is not illegal to own necklaces that have slave diamonds or whatever. What are they called? Blood diamonds. Yeah, all of our clothes produced by sweatshops, our computers with silicon and lithium mined from literal fucking...
It's the same freaking argument again and again and again. It's like saying, well, this is made unethically, that's made unethically, they're the same. And they're not the same. And it's brain dead to rationalize child porn. While it's true that the argument that he's trying to prove here is the fact that this is made unethically, that's made unethically, both equal. That's the argument he's trying to make. He's trying to freaking own you, bro. He's trying to own you that, oh, you wear a shirt? Well, you must be into child porn. Got him. But ultimately, it does play the purpose of rationalizing a moral argument for child porn. And that's what I think a lot of people have a complaint with. And he admits in this video it's bad. He says that it's an edgy take that goes way too far, and he does a bad job, okay? And it's really nice that he's saying that in this video. But in this video, he's already dug his own grave. He's 6 feet underground trying to find a way out. So obviously, this is the take he's going to be making. Like, you could... Here's the thing. He's done this like 5-6 times over his career, making that argument. And if he wouldn't have leaked his folder of lolly porn, I don't think... people would have clowned on him, but people wouldn't have gone this crazy. It's the fact that you're right. There is context to you rationalizing child pornography. However, do you realize that the argument rationalizes it, even though the context shows that that's not the point? Yes, the point of the statement wasn't to rationalize it, but the argument that you're using does rationalize it. And then it turns out you have a folder full of lolly stuff. You also think that people that enjoy lolly are pedophiles. Like you realize why it looks so awful. And explaining the context for your rationalization doesn't disregard the fact that you keep rationalizing it. The child labor argument does not undo the fact that you rationalized this. Anyway, I don't want to dwell so long on every single topic, so we're going to keep going. We get it. We get the child labor argument, and every Vaush fan in the comment section loves sitting here and saying that, oh, you just don't get the context. Oh, if you only understood the context, you would look at this differently. We get the context. You're also rationalizing child pornography, and he does so 6 times over his career. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if you rationalize it for different contexts that many times, and it turns out, despite the fact that thinking that lolly porn is pedophilia, that he has a folder full of it, well, you got to start wondering what his motives actually are. Is it 6 coincidental arguments that rationalize this horrible thing? Or is maybe there's something else going on?
You know, it wasn't until I brought it up in a debate with Vegan Gains, a far larger YouTuber, that I realized how people outside of my community bubble,
his community understood it. It's all good.
Perceived the argument.
Okay, so we're about to watch a clip of him in a debate where he finally realized that, wait a second, this argument that I've been making about no moral or ethical argument against child porn actually looks pretty bad to people outside my community. This is the timeline when it actually hits him that, wait a second, people will look at this clip and find it weird.
Pedophiles, right, who buy child pornography, would you say they should not be held responsible for doing that?
Yes.
Really? Even though they're directly supporting child rape?
Yeah, I think it's hypocritical. If I bought my computer and the silicon...
I love how he thinks that no one actually understands the take. Everyone understands the context, and this whole video is showing context over and over and over and over again to the same argument he's been making again and again and again. Bro, you're making Vegan Gains sound normal and sane, okay? Okay. Brother, this is why people are on your dick about this, okay? It's because it's a dozen times, maybe not a dozen, but it's many times over your career. And these are the ones that are clicked and that got clipped and propagated. We get the argument you're making, but it comes down to rationalizing something that's irrational and should not ever be discussed in a rational setting. So anyway, so here's him explaining the argument again.
In it was farmed in Africa by slaves. If I can do that, and that's legal, and no one's going to call me out on my shit, then yeah, I have to be consistent in that respect.
Okay, look,
my moral consistency is too much. I am literally far too moral and consistent.
I think there's levels to this. So I wouldn't equate buying a computer to buying child pornography. I mean, it's in order to...
I love how the person he's debating is also a little brain dead here. But the point is, it is possible to make a computer ethically. It is not possible to make child porn ethically. The end. Like, literally mic drop. Like, you can't compare this. But anyway, that's, again, coming from the debate bro mindset. Like, that would win me a debate with Vaush, okay? I'm not trying to win a debate with him on the topic. I'm trying to point out the fact that he's been so consistent about these stances that Saul Goodman would not want to touch this.
Pretty much have a job anymore. You need a computer. So do you really think it's reasonable to equate something like buying something that might cause some amount of cruelty exploitation in the world that you need for your job just to be able to, like, not be homeless, to something that you're buying purely for very shallow personal pleasure that causes horrible, irreparable damage to somebody lifelong.
I mean, we can actually like partition it out. I don't know how much child pornography goes on the market these days. I haven't exactly checked, but I'd be willing to bet that the total amount of suffering that goes into the child slaves that mine out like the silicon in Africa, in terms of me supporting that industry, I mean, that's pretty bad. And I didn't have to buy a computer this big. I could have bought something smaller. I could have bought a little Chromebook. I wonder how many more hours.
See, again, he's continually arguing and fighting that point. See, here's the thing. If he would have realized that this point was bad and the end, he could have disavowed it all these times. He keeps using the argument that it's not that it's many clips, it's just one clip that he constantly defends over and over and over, so it counts as one instance of him rationalizing child porn and not a million. Brother, go off Reddit for a second and recognize that you can spit your empirical data limp dick facts all you want, but ultimately it comes down to you defending something that is indefensible. And I get that it's the debate bro mindset, but if your debate bro mindset keeps defending this point, then my God.
I just had to mine up that silicon to justify me being able to own this. But I'd go with it too. Clothing I wear put together by sweatshop workers, glasses, like everything. And if you wanted to step beyond the slavery element, like all of the
Anyway, ridiculous argument on both sides here, but that's really not the point. Ellie Scrolls, thank you so much for the 5 subs. I appreciate it. All right, so now he has extra context and extra context and extra context, but it's all explaining the same thing in different ways. And again, he's a very eloquent man, a very, very eloquent man. But brother.
So yeah, that's the explanation for the argument. Like I said before, it does reflect really poorly on me, but
it's not just that it reflects poorly on you. It's that A, it's a poor argument. B, it's something you could have disavowed for a very long time. And C, yes, it reflects very poorly on you as a person, not as a debater.
Only in regard to my intelligence and character, not any sort of paraphilia.
So here's the thing. That is the point that he's literally trying to hammer home for this entire video. He's saying all of the times that I've defended pornography, child porn over the last 5 years of my career, every single one of them merely reflects on me being a dumb shit. It doesn't actually reflect on the fact that I find that I'm attracted to children. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying right here. And that's the core of his argument throughout the entire video. And again, I am saying that you have 2 stances you could take after watching this. That every single one of these various, many arguments that he's made for this entire video, every single one of them comes down to one of 2 things. Either he was an idiot at 6 coincidental different times, using his debate bro mindset that coincidentally defended child porn, or he's attracted to children. These are 2 logical explanations. I just think one is much more logical than the other.
The clip is from very early on in my career. I think the original stream VOD was actually lost when my Twitch channel was first.
So it was back when he didn't vet everything he'd say, and he would just say whatever he felt without being worried about repercussions. Okay, so it's extra sincere, I would think. His argument is, it's much less sincere. It was just arguing for the sake of being edgy, not that he actually believed in anything he was saying. That's his argument. Now, again, face value, both might be true. Who knows which one is the truth? I leave that to you to decide, brave commenters.
Expand. But while
that's being objective, that you believe which is true, I obviously do think one is more likely than the other.
For video context to add, I ended up finding this ancient effort from a fan of mine, presumably, to provide context to that clip. I don't know who made this. I hope they're doing well.
None of it is... Yeah, I agree. None of it is ethical. But we've already made this social decision that people are not responsible for the systems by which the stuff they own is produced. We've already made that decision. You're right, but you're kind of revealing your power level. No, this is exactly what I fucking mean. I'm right, but I'm revealing my fucking pedo power level because I'm right. No, this is a moral inconsistency in society. The answer should be that all of these things are bad.
Obviously, that's the argument he's making, but by making the argument that all of these things are bad, he is also rationalizing child pornography. I never said that he's actually sitting here trying to promote the legalization of child pornography. He never says that, and I want that to be clear. However, in his arguments, he always presents it as rational. So, not that he wants to legalize it, but he presents it as rational. Now, again, this all is just an armchair psychology session, wondering what he's actually thinking inside of his noggin. So, you don't know, but this is very obvious. He's obviously never actually promoting the legalization of it, even though he might personally, be attracted to children. Now, here's the very interesting thing. He skipped context in this very clip that he's providing context for. I'm not going to go now look for every single clip he ever had, but in this actual clip that he has, he says that child porn is less bad than sweatshops. But he actually, in this same clip where he's playing the same game at the same time, he says that it's less bad. Maybe my editor will find it in post, maybe he won't.
I did. Here you go.
Thank you, Anarcho-Tac. I'm objectively right on this. They're morally identical. The difference being, of course, that there are far more people caught up in the slave labor and exploitation of the developing world than there are children in rape. So if anything, owning child pornography is probably a hell of a lot more ethical than wearing the t-shirts on your backs right now.
Hopefully that makes what I was doing there a little more clear, even if the way I chose to do it was really, really stupid.
Okay, that's his argument for clip number one. The child porn argument for justifying it because sweatshops exist also, and you're okay with those. That's his explanation for it. I personally still don't 100% buy it. That's the whole context, and I want everyone to know the whole context, just like I know the whole context. When I say that him consistently rationalizing it, only to then go after people that are into lolly porn for being pedophiles, to then being revealed to have lolly porn, is like the ultimate own. If he wouldn't have done that part, maybe this defense would work. Maybe I could give him more benefit of the doubt. That's being super charitable. All right, so that's your extra context for the first clip. Now, and the second clip in his debate with Vegan Gains, where he also defends it. All right. Now, this next clip, I think he's actually right. I think that this clip was taken out of context. This one we're about to see. However, I still think it's a little damning for a different reason.
One category of disingenuous pedophilia accusation that I find particularly maddening is when they're cut from a video in which I am clearly arguing that our society has a tendency to fetishize youth in girls and that it's bad. Essentially,
Yeah, so,
I'll say our society broadly has a serious problem fetishizing young girls, and people...
All right, this is the second argument. We've seen the first argument, the comparison argument. The second clip of his that everyone likes taking out of context is the following. And again, I do think it's taken out of context really, really badly. Really badly to make him look way worse. However, I think there are still very telltale signs of an issue being present.
Exact thing happening live quite recently.
The average American man would be most attracted to? Which hypothetical strip club would be the most crowded if they all opened tomorrow?
I think it would be somewhere
Do you not
from
want to answer
14...
this question?
No, I think it'd be somewhere from 14 to 17. I don't
Which
think
one?
we've
This
changed.
motherfucker, okay, wants to fuck 14-year-olds.
Okay, that's obviously a leap of logic on Ethan Klein's part. I'm not going to say that it isn't. However, so I'm going to show you that full context of that clip, because that clip is incredibly uncomfortable, and we have to see the full logic before I tell you my opinion on this one specifically.
I'm gonna open a
This is really
string
awkward.
of strip clubs in Las Vegas. And it's gonna be called Mr. Girls, whatever you want.
This Mr. Girl guy, I don't know who this fellow is, but holy shit, this guy seems way worse than Vaush. He seems so much worse. But anyway.
Emporium, okay? Mm-hmm. And in one strip club, the strippers are 25, 24, 23, 22, all the way down to infants. Each strip club...
The worst thought. Yeah. We need debate lords to have these thought experiments. Yeah. This is good shit.
This is
That was sarcasm, by the way.
This is a sovereign state, so there's no laws. In each club, everyone is the same age. Okay, so if you want to watch babies crawl around, or you want to watch 100-year-olds, we'll start at 100. So basically, everybody and everybody all the women on the planet have to work here.
Oh my fucking god, this
My
guy's
question
insane.
is,
how is this guy? Does this guy actually have a platform? This Mr. Girl character? This person actually exists? Because like this guy makes Vaush look like an actual saint. Like Vaush should have just said, "Oh, you think I'm bad? Well, Mr. Girl," and just show this clip and then the end. Okay, I just looked up Mr. Girl and I don't even see him. I just see people shitting on him. Okay, at least there's some good in society.
in America now, which club do you think would be the most popular if this were to open tomorrow?
In a sovereign state adjacent to America.
Yeah, and it's like there's no one identities are there's no issues of social ostracization. Nobody knows. Everybody's
The worst
wearing
thought experiment, child porn.
The closest
Not
argument you
strippers.
could make there, I think, is from European literature from ye olden days, and it seems like predation against girls spiked up around like 14 to 16. So if you could, if all the degenerate sex tourists,
looking around you at America
Bro, what
now,
the hell? This guy's insane.
I want you to base this just on your sense. You know a lot of people. You talk to a lot of people about this. And we all.
I haven't talked to a lot of people about this specifically. I'm going to.
Well,
I love how he's actually entertaining this guy. Bro's just sitting here entertaining this question too.
Circles, but based on your observations of American humans, which club is the most popular? Let's say men, straight men are going, and they're women.
Culturally, I don't think that we've done anything to appropriately discourage that kind of predatory behavior towards girls.
Dude, just speak.
So my guess is that it would be somewhere between 14 to 17. I think that
what
culturally
what
we've
if it's
done
a one-way mirror? The
extremely
girls
little.
don't know. The girls don't know that you're. Is it even predatory to go look at them? They don't know that you're looking at them.
I would say that's predatory.
Yes.
It's a
Obviously.
okay. It's a website where you can log in and look at locker rooms. Forget the slavery
I
aspect.
would continue to believe that's predatory. For
Yeah, for
multiple
sure. But
reasons.
much harder type of predatory behavior to discourage if no
I
one.
love
will
how this guy's saying that peeping on children is not predatory because they don't know that it's happening. That's Mr. Girl's argument. All right, this guy's completely fucked.
ever know that camera was there.
If you put a camera in an underage girl's locker room and the police found it, I assure you that they would be able to very quickly, succinctly, and with great confidence explain to you what you did wrong.
All right, then I have to go take care of something. No, I'm just kidding. My question is, which club is the most popular? My question is, where do you think we're at? And I'm asking it in kind of a exciting way because we're in public. But where do you think we're at?
I genuinely don't think that much has been done to culturally disbar the average modern guy from the attitudes that we had back in antiquity towards women and attractiveness towards women.
And what number?
I think it would be somewhere from 14. No, I think it'd be somewhere from 14 to 17. I don't think we've changed.
Those are big. That's a big difference.
I have no idea, and I couldn't.
Okay, and then Mr. Girls sits here trying to say, okay, pick one age, 14, 15, 16, or 17. And then Mr. Girls sits down and says, I think it's actually 15. All right, I'm just summarizing the rest for you because it's actually painful. Anyway, this clip is obviously taken very, very out of context. This very, very, very out of context to basically make Vaush say that most Americans would be attracted to 14 to 16-year-olds. Like that's what Vaush basically said, and that's the full context. Now that you have the full context, I do think that this is probably the most egregious situation of taking his shit out of context. However, I also think that if someone would ask me this question, I would probably say between 18 and 20, or between 18 and 24, or like some long range like that. I wouldn't even begin to think that most Americans would be attracted to 14-year-olds. And he does. And the fact that he thinks that is weird. So while it's true, this entire argument is not at all him saying that he's attracted to 14-year-olds. And it's definitely been taken out of context to look worse than it is. It's still coming from the perspective of a guy that thinks that most people are attracted to 14-year-olds, which I think is really, really weird. I think that it's, again, the context definitely makes it better. However, there's the implication, because most people view other people as kind of like themselves. Like, they always expect other people to react to different situations the way that they do. That's psychology 101. And it almost feels a little bit projection-y for him to sit here and say that because society never made it really look so weird, now suddenly society is making it seem like there's a really weird implication here that I do think is worth noting. And so, yes, this definitely explains context. However, it does almost look a little bit projection-y. It looks a bit self-reporty.
Explicitly talking about a widespread social failure to address, prevent, or discourage predation against young girls. Nothing about my language even remotely implies that I'm describing my own preference.
Yeah, so this is the argument. He is just talking from a social perspective. This is his self-thesis that he is writing. He is Niji Sanji's legal team right now that finds themselves innocent, all right? Or he says that looking at this clip, I never say that this is my feeling. However, I think that if you asked almost anybody the same question of what do you think the average American adult, what age do you think the average American adult is attracted to? I think almost all of them would say early 20s. If I that would be my knee-jerk reaction. All right? Not even talking about MILF lovers out there, but I do think that that's like probably the major take. I think that's what most people would say. I find it weird that he thinks 14. Like, again, I think there has to be some level of projection going on for him to think that. Or this is just his very nuanced, objective take on American society. Again, in these clips, it proves one of two things. Either he's a debate lord and he makes stupid arguments a lot, or he's attracted to children. You literally have these same two possibilities for all of them. Now, again, if it wasn't for the consistency, I don't think we'd be sitting here today. But anyway, that's clip 3, and I do think this one is taken really out of context. Also, this Cuties film, the clip 4 is the Cuties film one, and this one I didn't even see brought up. Like, there are so many worse ones. All right.
Argument. Fuck me, dude. That is bad. That is really, really, really fucking bad. Holy shit. If the original movie actually comments on child sexualization, that would be like a movie about child sex trafficking, and the poster is like a pinup picture of a 14-year-old girl with a black eye or something. Holy fuck. I can't even begin to describe how tactless that is. What's the takeaway from this one? Like, I don't know. Don't do that, Netflix. I don't even know. This is like, this is unfathomable to me. Does anyone else get the feeling that, like, men, at least in the West, are kind of, like, taught to be kind of a little pedophile-y a little bit with how much we're fetishizing young girls? Does anyone else kind of get that feeling a little bit, just a smidge possibly? Not like every guy's a pedophile, and I don't believe that, but like the way we hyper fetishize youth for girls is—
Do we do that? Do we really do that? Sneeko punching the air right now. But do we do that? I don't have that feeling. I don't think that we do that at all. So here's the thing. Yes, you're right. Again, I'm saying this literally again. Yes, you're right. This video is him going against Cuties. This video is him saying that Netflix is shit for making a movie like Cuties. You're right. The argument's rock solid. I agree with the Vaush take that Cuties is horrible. However, it's in his words, in his terminologies, in the way he talks about this stuff. It really sounds weird. It really sounds awful every single time. We fetishize children a lot. Like, what does that even mean? Oh my god. So here's the thing. We're getting all the context here. Okay, I don't want to ever cover this guy again, to be honest. Unless we get 10,000 likes and I'll watch the Vaush's unironically evil video talking about his political takes.
Believe that. But like, the way we hyper every guy to be— someone else gets eye or something. Holy fuck. I can't even begin to describe how tactless that is. What's the takeaway from this one? Like, I don't know. Don't do that, Netflix. I don't even know. This is like, this is unfathomable to me. Does anyone else get the feeling that, like, men, at least in the West, are kind of, like, taught to be kind of a little pedophile-y? How much we're fetishizing young girls? Does anyone else kind of get that feeling a little bit?
No! I don't get that feeling at all. If you get that feeling, maybe it's because either it comes from the massive brain debate bro god tier intellect perspective looking at an objective cringe in the United States, or he's attracted to children. Again, it's the same 2 points every time. And yes, this rest of this clip and segment defending this clip is him showing how Cuties is bad, but he thinks it's a systemic issue in the actual United States. We get it. Same argument again. However, you want saying this stuff. Okay, all right. Clip 5. Let's just go. We don't need to over-explain this. We already explained this in clip 4. Clip 5, his painfully cringy joke.
Fortunately. All right, next clip. We've all jerked at the lolly at some point or another. We have at some point in our lives been going fucking crazy on some hentai site, and we've been fucking stroking as hard and fast as we can, and then after we nut, we go back, look over our history chat, and we go like, oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Some of these girls looked pretty young. Yeah, this one definitely sounds rougher than the last two clips.
Yeah.
But
I've never had that issue personally, where I'm jerking off because I'm attracted to something, and then I'm like, oh my god, I just realized I did something illegal. No, we haven't. We haven't done that.
It's, it's a bit. It's a joke. A bad joke. I can explain it. I don't think that'll make it any funnier. The intended comedy element.
The intended comedy element was, in fact, the post-nut clarity of it all.
Of an indiscriminate whirlwind masturbator being used to draw attention to a problem, that problem being the ubiquity of lolicon in hentai sites.
Yeah, that's a problem, right? Don't check his taxes folder, but that's a problem. Guys, did you get the joke? Did you get the joke, guys? the way it pointed towards the ubiquity, bro, the ubiquity has me rolling right now.
I don't really know how anyone could get like a serious vibe from that. Like there's any kind of like, you know, grave point being made.
You see he's being serious now because he's staring into your soul while he's speaking.
Again, it's not a funny joke at all.
No,
I mean, I cringe looking at it. It's great evidence against me if the point that people are trying to make is that I was or indeed still am cringe. So
Oh, that's the point that people are making. No, I think the point that people are making is that it seems like from all of these takes that you are attracted to children. I think you should be arrested purely on the unfunniness of that joke alone. However, you see, the real comedy aspect is the fact that you have so many of these clips. I have never made that joke because I've never jerked it to lolly porn. You can't realize they're lolly after the fact. Like, it's not like post-nut clarity kicks in and you're like, oh shit, it's a child. That doesn't make sense to anyone that isn't attracted to that. I'm just saying. I don't know. Unless maybe he was pure, again, two sides of this coin. Maybe it was just a bad joke. Also, maybe he's attracted to children.
So a point to their favor on that one, I guess.
Another thing leftists have pushed is the idea that pedophilia is just another sexual orientation.
Citation needed.
Like being gay or straight.
Oh my gosh.
Stop discrimination.
Citation needed.
It's time to be more tolerant of demons who feed on kids.
I do take issue with the moral outrage here. Child sexual abuse is widely underreported. It's a huge problem. It's incredibly damaging to the psyche of young people, and as they grow older, it can lead to many negative mental health consequences.
Ready for the good one? However, you ready?
Stigmatizing pedophilia to the extent that we are calling them demons probably discourages pedophiles, people who feel attraction towards children, from getting the help they could need to keep themselves from abusing children.
I was thinking of a different clip, but okay.
Increasing the likelihood of child sexual abuse. Do not demonize pedophiles. Demonize child sexual abuse and encourage pedophiles to get help. Now, if you've got pedophiles who have never sexually abused a child, but they're advocating for it, they're like, yeah, I've never done it, but is there anything really that wrong with lowering the age of consent to 13? Then of course, fuck them. Like, fucking shut them up. Just fucking smack them. But by and large, statistically speaking, there are 370 people watching right now. I'd be willing to bet that at least 20 or 30 of them experience habitual sexual attraction towards children. It's surprisingly common.
I think the fact that he thinks it's so common is so scary. See, here's the thing. When it turns out that someone's a pedophile, I freak out. Because I can't even relate. Like, I can't relate. I have a couple hundred people in my chat right now. If you would have asked me how many people in your chat do you think are pedophiles, I would have said, I don't know, probably none. One. I don't know. Again, I don't think this is his most damning clip.
To those of you
But he thinks that 30% of his audience are pedophiles.
Due to an extent that you feel as though it may be like a problem, please, just get some fucking help, my dude. There's nothing wrong with you as a person. We can't help the shit that we're into. We can help our actions. There's nothing feels weird, man, about this. You can't help the
See, I don't even fully disagree with this take that if you are feeling that way, you should just get therapy. Like, fine. But the fact that he thinks that 30% of his audience are pedophiles is weird.
You're into. If you realize as you're like 20 years old that you have a thing for kids, what the fuck do you do? Commit fucking Sudoku? Do you just stop existing right then and there? Do you toss?
All right, we get it. We get the clip. We get the context.
I think it's phrased a little weird because I just wasn't experienced at streaming back then. But yeah, the message seems fine. As I understand it, encouraging pedos to go to therapy is like mathematically the most effective way of...
See, I don't even disagree with this take specifically. It's just, it's the mindset. It's the mind behind the take that's so weird. And I think that, like, he's addressing each one of these clips from, like, a logic standpoint, proving how these clips don't actually make him admit to being a pedophile. It's just the fact that he keeps making these arguments and having that he has the mindset that, well, lots of people are attracted to kids. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't think that. Anyway, we move on to the next clip because he defended himself very, very well here. I think that this clip out of context does look bad, worse than it should be. However, he is still of the mindset that 30% of his audience are pedophiles, and the pedophiles are literally all over the place. Okay, this next clip is probably one of his worst.
To be honest. But, all right, enough with the clips that are easy for me to defend. Let's address the clip that I see second most often. It's probably my least favorite one. because it is so stupid and so unnecessary. And
it's so bad. This one you're about to see, so bad. This is the one that made me think that this guy maybe potentially should be checked by the FBI.
bad optics of it aren't even
Oh, shut up with bad optics, bro. The optics aren't the problem here. The problem is you're normalizing something evil. You're normalizing something cruel and vindictive and that shouldn't exist. And you're giving people a moral way to defend their horrible actions. That's the issue here.
from the argument that
Bad
I was
optics.
trying to make. Here, enjoy the terrible clip.
Please, right now, uncuck your dumb shit libcuck fucking SJW brains.
All right, he's making it as clear as he possibly can. Are you ready?
And recognize this empirically correct fact that I am about to spit.
He is about to spit an empirically correct fact, everybody. I hope you're ready. Hold on to your seatbelts.
It is possible for an adult and a child to have a sexual relationship and for it to have positive outcomes on the child as well. That is possible.
Man, look at how...
That's a pretty bad. That's a pretty bad clip. Guys, unzip your dumb shit libcuck minds while I spit this empirically correct fact at you right now. If you murder a child and rape the corpse, there will not be any mental issues to come from that. They will have no PTSD when I rape their corpse. Unzip your dumb shit cuck liberal SJW cuck minds. Like, bro, everyone could cook, but not everyone should cook. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, he's about to explain this clip, and it, in my opinion, doesn't make it that much better.
Look at how cool and logical I am, calling people libcucks for having the audacity
Yeah, that's what they're canceling you for. Calling people libcucks. Good, got him.
to take issue with anything that I'm saying there. My IQ must be massive, the way I'm willing to, and this is the chair.
Okay, this is painful. I have to stop him right now. All right, you're about to get the actual context for the clip. Stop calling yourself cringe, bro. That's not the allegations. See, I get the cringe allegations. I get canceled on Twitter once a week for being cringe, okay? You don't get canceled for being cringe.
Adult and a child to have a sexual relationship and for it to have positive outcomes on the child as well. That is possible. However, categorically, we discourage those relationships because as a rule, it is substantially more likely that enabling them would cause harm in society. That's the difference between act and rule utilitarianism.
He's explaining the difference between act and rule utilitarianism, and he's using it in a way to justify having sex with children. Okay, cool.
An act utilitarian would say, oh, this is an instance where it was good for the adult and the minor to have sex. That would make it a good action. But the rule utilitarian, which is what I am, would say, even though that individual outcome was good.
Oh, it was good. That outcome was good. Not just did it not have negative effects, but that individual outcome, the having sex with a child, that was a good action.
The act was still bad because in general, in a broader application, for adults and children to have sex with one another leads to horribly destructive outcomes.
Sometimes it's bad too. Sometimes it's not bad for the child. Sometimes it is bad for the child.
For that reason, it is an unethical act.
Okay, so...
Oh, look at that. Whoever cut this clip ended it right before I said, but...
It's very, very disingenuous of Vaush to do this because everyone's seen the context for these clips, and he makes believe that showing the context validates his points when in actuality it really doesn't. Now he's going to go on a whole ramble talking about the argument he was trying to make and how he didn't really understand rule utilitarianism and act utilitarianism and all that shit. However, he literally does this. The utilitarianism argument, he explains it for the whole time. I think everyone with a brain cell understands the argument that he's actually trying to say. So therefore, we are actually going to sit here for a little moment and talk about the actual clip for a second. Because, again, even with the context, I think it's important to recognize the other side of the story. No, I don't think it's possible for a child and an adult to have a sexual relationship where it has positive consequences on the child. I don't think that's true. I don't even think that it's an example I would use for act utilitarianism or rule utilitarianism. Like, positive outcomes of having sex with children is not going to be my go-to example of rule utilitarianism. I cannot think of a single positive outcome, in fact. So, using this as an entire argument to... yes, you're right. He is using that not to say that it's okay. He's using it to say and explain the differences between different types of utilitarianism. You know what? Fine. Debate, bro mind. However, this is once again another instance of somehow validating having sex with children. Like, again, you realize that the point you're trying to make and the way you try to make the point are two separate things. You're right. The point you're trying to make is not legalizing having sex with children. But the way you go about making this point is giving a rationale to having sex with children. Giving a moral defense to people that have sex with children. It's horrible. It's awful. And I really want to stress this a lot because, you see, here's the thing that I've been saying until now. We went through 7 clips. These were 7 clips of him rationalizing pedophilia. You're right. They were all done in different ways, none actually admitting that he himself is attracted to children. And all of these different instances are to prove different debate bro arguments. However, every single one of them ends up roundaboutly giving moral credence to pedophilia. Which, again, is really, really weird. It's really weird. And now, again, you can have two perspectives here. Either you have 7 different coincidental moments, 7 different coincidental moments of him defending this stuff for totally separate, random debate bro arguments and stupid arguments, yes. However, it's also possible that there is another side to this that's really, really weird, especially as we get into the later parts of this video. So that was the 7 clips he's defended. Aside from other clips of him being creepy and all that stuff, but we'll leave that for another time. And notice he completely skipped all of that, the weird beastophilia stuff that he's been getting harassed for as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, my presence online dates back way farther than the creation of my channel, which means people interested in finding examples of me saying stupid shit have a pretty wide range of material to choose from. Before I had a channel or was even known as Vaush, I was a frequent and notorious shitposter in the community of a streamer called Destiny.
Yes, sir.
I know. That's why I am the way I am. I had been
okay.
his community for a long time, really long, and I really enjoyed the edgy, irreverent debate lord culture of his Discord server.
Yeah.
So let's look at some of the stupid, edgy, irreverent shit I said 6 years ago there that people have since screenshotted out of context in the pursuit of calling me a pedophile. So this is a perfect example of context being maliciously stripped from a screenshot in order to make me look bad, even though I'm right and it's not even controversial. You know, I'm uncontroversially right, I hope. The conversation was about me.
Yeah. Again, so as for all these different Discord screenshots, it's literally dozens of Discord screenshots. I fucked it. I thought that they're unironically hot, right? Like, every single one looks bad. The way I see it, the age of consent exists out of respect for the numerous power imbalances older people and younger people. As for those imbalances, or at least some of them, are redressed through the ages of socialism, the age of consent should therefore be lowered. Which is, like, a lot of these takes are just absolutely unhinged. Oh, what did pedos ever do to you? Hilarious. Yeah, oh god, oh that's funny. Oh, yeah, Salem pedophile trials. Okay, alright, we got lots of that. What's wrong with the lollybot? True, this is where I come. My professors never want to talk about pedophile sex bots. True, that's why you're in this Discord server. Okay, he has a lot of these weird Discord leaks, and I myself, not exactly been the most positive towards Vaush. I don't think these trying to be edgy rhetorical moments necessarily speak that much about him as a person. So I don't think that I do think these screenshots out of context look horrible and no one should ever type that shit. However, I am willing to accept the argument that a lot of this was meant for rhetoric and debate lord shit and not actually I would give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. But it's the amount of stuff altogether that I think really spells a different picture. All right, moving on. The taxes folder. This next segment of the video is explaining how he saves porn on his computer. He is literally making an entire segment of the video talking about how he actually does save porn on the computer. And when he sees something that's hot, he saves it, and it goes to his basic folder.
So after all that, now we finally arrive at this most recent drama the incident that lit a
It's
fire
not really drama, but okay.
under Drama YouTube, and is, to my mind, the only thing I've done in the past 4 years that actually looks bad. It's pretty fucking...
He doesn't even think! He doesn't even think everything else looks bad! Oh, God. Brother! You went through this saying how the arguments look bad and the arguments didn't hold water and all that stuff. This is the only one that looks bad.
Embarrassing, to say the least. So there I was, streaming a few weeks ago, browsing a men's fashion site. I wanted to look at an image more closely, so I right-clicked to open the image in a new window, but then accidentally instead clicked the Save As tab in the right-click drop-down menu. Now, because I am, as has been extensively demonstrated in this video, a fucking idiot, my preferred
the idiot defense
strategy for keeping my desktop clean is to keep a single big folder called To Be Sorted, where every image, document, music file, whatever I happen to download gets sent.
I'll be honest, he spends like this whole time explaining like why he accidentally leaked it, that he has everything in a folder, so if you ever save as, it opens up the folder, it shows all the shit inside, and all that shit inside is all evil, and he has porn in there and all that. Okay, whatever. Again, no one cares about that. You are making this a big deal, and no one cares about the your practices in porn saving. First of all, who the fuck downloads porn? Okay, but second of all, no one cares about that. Literally, no one cares. That's not the argument that anyone's been making against you. That you leaked porn on stream. It's what the porn was.
Monster GF.
Right, so here he explains exactly his porn tastes. You see, the fact that he had a lot of lollies in his porn folder, getting fucked by orcs and horses and shit. Guys, you don't understand. It's because he's attracted to big dicks.
Of the like furry demon monster GF big dick porn stuff I knew I had in there. You know, I had rambled about liking all that stuff on stream before, not a secret. And I thought, you know, maybe in a way this fuck up would come across kind of charming. You know, that's my streamer, that fucking idiot right there. Yeah. My community was already making a big joke of it by the time I went live again. Of course, I knew as soon as the folder opened on stream that it would be pretty easy for people to lie about what it contained, to stir up drama or cause me trouble or for any other reason.
Lie about what it contained. They actually found the clips. They found the stuff that you had saved. They literally found the source you saved it from because you downloaded it from like the Daiboru, like the furry porn website. And it literally had the same tags in the actual file names. They reverse searched it. I will never show it to you because I will get immediately banned. There's nothing to lie about, bro. There were lollies there. Lots of them. And this is coming from the guy that called Rev Says Desu a pedo lord. The guy that says that anyone that's into lollies is a pedophile. That's this guy that has a folder full of lollies.
When later on in that...
Not to mention the horses.
Stream, one or two people came into chat and they said, hey, there was lolly in there. You know, I figured they were just causing trouble and I banned them. Of course.
Yeah, you banned them because they were just being whippersnappers in the chat. They were just being little whippersnappers. Oh, causing trouble, so I banned them. Little chuckle.
We know where this is going. By the next day, I had learned from what felt like the entire goddamn internet.
He learnt. He was then taught that the stuff he had downloaded was lollies. He didn't actually know.
2 of the images in my folder preview window.
Two of the images in the folder preview window, where you have thousands more images. Statistically speaking, you probably have hundreds. Okay, but 2 that were at least found by the people.
We're actually from a well-known lolicon artist, and therefore definitely intended to be lolly shit.
That was the artist's intention, but you see, art is subjective. My subjective take is that they didn't look like lolly at all. The only reason why I'm led to believe that they might be potentially lolly is because the artist was a lolicon. Bro, they showed the images on Twitter. If you don't think that they're lollies, you're brain dead. You are brain dead. Dude, I prefer the take to say that lolly shit isn't bad than the take to say I didn't know it was lollies. Like, brother. And his defense that he originally said, by the way, which he does not include in his video, is the really good defense of, I thought it was like goblin porn, which first of all, what? And second of all, bro, they weren't green. You say they were short stacks, but they were not stacked in anywhere. They were children. This argument is absolute bullshit. I do think that a lot of the explaining context until here, like while his points were like well said and all that stuff, dude, this is the worst said take I've ever heard in my life. There's no one on the planet can actually think that these are short stack thick goblins.
Which has to be the worst possible way to find out about that sort of thing.
Yeah, you found out. That's when you found out. I mean, this reminds me of the clip that he has a little earlier in his video, so I'm going to bring it up one more time because I think that this becomes a lot more real right now. This is what I mean. This situation of the whole the lolly folder getting leaked, for me, it was more of a spotlight on everything he said until here than the actual situation itself.
All right, next clip.
We've all jerked at the lolly at some point or another. We have at some point in our lives been going fucking crazy on some hentai site, and we've been fucking stroking as hard and fast as we can, and then after we nut, we go back, look over our history chat, and we go like, oh, jeez.
It's, it's a bit. It's a joke.
Yeah,
a bad joke.
So his defense for that one is it's a joke. But this is what I've been saying this entire time. If it was one of these clips, if it was two of these clips, if it was even the leaking the lolly shit, people would not go this crazy. What each case individually, you're right. There is some explicable way to give a shred of evidence to prove without a shadow of a doubt that it is possible to right away. But it adds up. It adds up. It's all the breadcrumbs together that makes the cake, okay? Bro, for me, that's the damning part. Your Honor, send him to the Shadow Realm. 1,000 years, no lawyers, no trial, dungeon, 1,000 years.
Easy for people to lie about...
Yeah, we saw this part.
Not really an accusation, but also that I must have known that they were lolicon and saved them because they were lolicon. Now, the obvious and predictable but nonetheless true response from me is that no, I didn't know that. And
Bullshit. Bullshit. Listen, you can explain away all these fucking points you want. You can't look at those images and not realize they're lollies. There is no world on Earth that you could see those images. This is just a lie. He is lying to us right now. No matter how many people, everyone in chat and everyone in my comment section that literally says, Nux, you didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. You were bad faith. He was bad faith first. This is a lie, a flat out lie. Emphasis on flat. Bro, I saw the folder. It was explored on Twitter. They found the images that were saved there. Bullshit. You are going to sit here and tell me that the obvious answer is I didn't realize it was lolly.
Not have been the impression I got from those two drawings, because if I had gotten that impression, then I wouldn't have saved them.
He says it like it's super obvious. It's like, if I knew it was lolly, I wouldn't have saved them. So I obviously didn't know it was lolly. Holy shit.
You know, I mean, drawings are abstractions, and art styles and body...
Dude, and then he literally goes down to explaining the art is subjective shit.
Proportions vary massively, even for characters that are unambiguously adults. That does...
In my defense, I jerk off with my glasses off, so I couldn't even see what I was jerking off to. Like, bro, I download porn without looking at it first. In my defense, it's I don't download the porn. I have a manager. He downloads porn to my computer for me. I don't even fucking look at it. I've never even seen it before.
Doesn't mean lolly shit isn't a thing or a problem. I've bitched about it being a problem like a lot on
Yeah, you call people pedophiles if they approve of lolly shit. Which is why when you have a thing of lolly shit, it's really fucking weird, to say the least. And then you add it on top of the backs of all these other clips rationalizing pedophilia for one reason or another. It makes it even weirder.
Stream. It just means that carelessly or inattentively
the demon is a
notice
coward
isn't exactly impossible. Yeah, I know what some people are going to say. You know, no, you must have known. There's no way you didn't know.
True.
And like, what am I going to do? Make a fucking evidentiary argument here?
No, you cannot make any argument. There is no argument you could make. I think he realizes that there is no argument that could possibly be made here. So he's just gonna say that, well, you could say that. No, there's no way you didn't know. And it's like, what am I gonna do? How can I prove my intentions? Sorry, dog. You're right. You can't prove your intentions. Your intentions are very known to everyone. You constantly talk about how the ethics behind child porn are not that clear cut to be illegal. You talk about constantly how you think most Americans are attracted to 14-year-olds. Okay? even though it's not obviously admitting for yourself. I don't think it's a leap to say that when you downloaded lollyporn, you meant to download lollyporn.
You know, like, I'm not putting up the images so we can argue about the pixels or the proportions or whatever.
I think you should. I think you should have done that. I think you should have gone crazy. You should have just taken the images, put them in the video, and be like, this is clearly an adult.
I know fully well that like 99.9% of people who have heard about this drama haven't seen the images, nor do I think those people...
I've seen the images. They were circulating on Twitter because they tracked down the actual images that were in your folder.
should go looking for them, obviously. So it's pretty much entirely...
Why, obviously? You didn't even know they were lollies.
A take me at my word or don't kind of situation.
I don't. For me, this is the most disingenuous part. I wasn't planning on actually doing some sort of commentary to this entire saga until this part of the video. And then I decided, yeah, okay.
Where people are free to lie about the drawings, or, as I've already seen on Twitter, just post other really bad-looking shit and say that's what I had in my folder.
This is such a straw man argument. Because some other guy posts, one person on Twitter, posted something else and said, Vaush probably had this in his folder, and he showed the fucking horse panel from Berserk. And he's like, people are lying about it? You probably didn't even see the real ones? It's not even nearly as bad as people are saying that it is? I saw the real ones. They're bad. They're awful, okay? I'm sorry. I do not stand for disingenuity. I hate that so much. The manipulative word vomit that is coming out of his mouth right now. This is a lie. He's lying to us. The end. And he keeps going for a long time. He makes his whole final thoughts, wrapping it up, where his conclusion is that he is not a pedophile, which is pretty based, pretty pog. It's like Niji Sanji saying that we've consulted our legal team, and our legal team has told us that we, in fact, are legally in the right. And then he has a closing thoughts for his audience, saying, thank you for supporting me and all that shit. This is the video, the big response video with all the context, because people were literally jumping down my throat in my comments to my last video, shitting on this entire situation. Telling me that I needed to see the context instead of just laugh at the chaos. So we did our laughing at the chaos, saw all the fucking context. This is my opinion. I could be wrong. Again, I want to make it completely and utterly clear that it is possible to have two conclusions here. Conclusion 1, the 7 clips and the 30 out of context Discord messages and the folder of lolly porn, despite the fact that he keeps talking about how everyone that likes lollies is a pedophile. All of that can be dozens of coincidences and different opportunities that he had to make arguments that he personally does not believe in, even though he showed all of that with different context to prove different points, whether it's to prove bad ethics in sweatshops, or it's to prove the difference between rule utilitarianism or axe utilitarianism, or whether it's to go forward and explain the social issues in America and how people are attracted to cuties probably, and to continue explaining all that stuff, and how he probably didn't notice that the lollies were actually lollies. You know what? You could make that argument. It is possible that these are just 57 different coincidences that happen that all happen to be some sort of justification now or again for child porn. That is one possible conclusion you could take away from this. The other possible conclusion is that Vaush is attracted to children. Now, you could take either of these paths. I leave it open to you to decide with all of the context which you think is more likely. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for enjoying. We looked into the abyss, and the abyss stared back. I've been doing a lot of deep dives into different internet situations, so if you like me doing that and getting hate for it, definitely leave a like and subscribe. We will now make it stop and go do drugs together. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.